Morning, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome back. It's Thursday, November 9th, 7 a.m. New York time. Got a couple sell limits set all ready to go here on the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. We've got an Aussie dollar sell limit. We've got a pound dollar sell limit. And we've got a euro dollar sell limit. Took a loss on GU overnight in the London session. And we're just looking to sell this. I was anticipating on GU that some of these highs would get run. I've still been bullish on the dollar for a while. I was anticipating a little bit of more of a pullback on that. But once we got that run of sell or buy side liquidity here, and we've had displacement lower back through these levels, creating with a displacement leg, I'll be looking to sell this area now on a breaker block here on GU, an inverted fair value gap here on euro dollar, and an order block here on Aussie dollar. So we'll see which one of these gets triggered in first. I won't carry all three of them. I might carry two. We'll see. If two get triggered, I might keep two, but if just one gets triggered, that's fine as well. But looking for more dollar strength as we head into the end of the week here. Looking to take out yesterday's high for sure on the dollar, and then reaching back up into at least this order block here, this up close candle right here, potentially the body of that up close candle on, that was the Tuesday, October 31st candle right there. See on the weekly, that would also be in line with the body of last week's or 2 weeks ago candle. And then on the monthly, the bottom of the October candle as well. So all of those are where I'm initially targeting here. You can see the dollar has reached into its monthly fair value gap here in the first part of November, put in a bottom wick, pulling off. I don't know that we'll take out the monthly high over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We might, but I definitely am expecting it to pull back up at least into the 106 area. My higher time frame drawn liquidity is still 108, just above this swing level here. We ran right up into this swing level. We left it in place. We've come back down, picked up more sell side liquidity, leaving behind very clean relative equal highs up there. So I'm going to continue with my bullish bias, stick with that until I see something tell me otherwise. This has just been a lot of consolidation for a few weeks. We had super clean price action for a couple of months, several months, and then we've just been consolidating, chopping around, engineering liquidity on the top and the bottom. We've now run the sell side liquidity, and we're getting a move back up now towards the buy side. So that's what we're doing today. That's what we're looking for. So we've got this EU sell. Now, I don't know that I'm going to hold this. I probably won't hold this for this whole move, but if I was looking to capture a big move, I would be looking to get down underneath these lows, and then I'm just targeting a fair value gap that's back underneath key swing levels. Quite likely, if it got down and just filled in this fair value gap, I'd probably close that out on EU. On GU, would just be looking again to get underneath some key levels here after filling in and violating fair value gaps. So ultimately, those lower swings are where you would want to be aiming for. But again, I don't know if I could get into this GU trade, if I would hold that long or not. We'll see. Aussie, very similar setup. This is just a very simple pullback into an order block. If price is going to remain lower here on Aussie dollar, these order blocks should hold. This is a 30-minute order block and very clean on the 15-minute as well. Stop above the top fair value gap for the day. And then targeting these lows down here, this next swing level. You've had a very aggressive run of buy-side liquidity, quick move up, quick move back down, and now we're just going to look for a PD array on these lower time frames for price to respect and continue the trend lower. So Aussie dollar's about to get popped in, it looks like, here at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. I'll trade through the claims. Yes, I'm not gonna. Sorry, I didn't even realize my mic was sitting way over there. What's up, LOL, Beeswax, George, Cisco, Mr. Alfie, and Corey? Welcome in, guys. Glad you guys are back with me. Very quick and dirty rundown there on Bitcoin. Got completely hammered. It ran those stops. I'll still be looking for opportunities to sell Bitcoin. And where might those opportunities come? The next level would be a fill of this full weekly fair value gap right there at 37,380. And then we'll just watch and wait and see what happens. But inside that fair value gap is where I would be looking. It's what we're trading in right now, this fair value gap right there. So waiting for a wick fill of that, and then we'll look and see what kind of price action we get. But I do think we're gonna get filled on that. All right, looks like Aussie dollar's been triggered in here. Pop back over to that. Aussie dollar is triggered in, so we're live on Aussie dollar, and now we'll just wait and see how this plays out. Drop that down here. I'll take a screenshot of that, put it in the Discord. I'll leave euro and pound right now. If another one of those gets triggered in, we'll cancel the other. So we'll give each of those a shot. AU has been triggered in. All right, EU, let's see how close EU is. EU's also, it looks like EU may get triggered in. So very close as well. Came right up to it. GU is probably the one that doesn't get filled today. If EU, because EU's about to, and then we'll just cancel GU. GU is off this breaker. We had a run of liquidity here. We've had displacement through the last down close candle before we run liquidity. Very, very clean setup here as a breaker. Don't know if we'll get that deep of a pullback. Maybe we will. But that's the GU setup. And the stop above the highest breaker there. EU coming right back up into those this high here. I was looking at again, this 30-minute inverted fair value gap. I'd like to see it come and get back up right into that 30-minute fair value gap right there. Was disrespected. A pull back up into it, touch it, and then continue down. And first target is aiming for previous day's lows. And then last week's, the low of Thursday last week would be our next target. So we'll see if that gets punched in or not. Aussie is in, just tagged in there. Now we'll just wait and see what we get. Gold yesterday, if you remember, we were targeting that fair value gap here on the daily time frame. It has touched the very top of it. Yesterday, in fact, we had said when price was up in here, this was around 9 a.m., and I had said, just wait, we're probably going to run this low, and if we run that low, it's going to reach down to that daily fair value gap. Price action played out perfectly there. I didn't take the gold trade, but I did give you that analysis here on the stream, so hopefully some of you maybe were able to take advantage of that. I'm ready to bust this losing streak up is what I'm ready to do. Ready to bust this up, get us back up into break even here. We're currently, I don't even know where we're at. We're at like 7% in drawdown, something like that. Yeah. So we'll see. This challenge, I've just been trading completely discretionarily, just based off of the smart money concepts in general and not off of any one specific break, like the GU breaker setup here. This is the bread and butter setup that I had been using for the last several months. The only setup I was looking for. And I just wanted to try here on the live stream for everyone to show you the pros and cons of discretionary trading. And so far, it's been nothing but cons. Nothing but cons when you just completely discretionary trade. We have not had any success whatsoever with discretionary trading. And I'm not doing that intentionally. I'm not intentionally trying to lose trades. All of these setups are setups that I have analyzed. All of these setups are setups that I have that there's reasons behind them. There are good logical price action reasons behind every one of these trades. But there's no set rules, there's no set time, there's no set profit target, there's no set risk percentage. There's no set anything other than what does Brad want to do on this particular setup. And it's not gone so well. It's not gone so well. I don't think I've won one discretionary trade yet. So not, again, this is one of the reasons. This is how I used to trade all the time. And lost all the time, which is exactly what I've been doing here. Discretionary trading, just completely losing it. All right, so Aussie's in. And I think what I'm going to do is cancel those other orders. From I'm just risking just over 1%. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel the EU and GU trade because they if they would put me over my lot limit there that I would be comfortable with, and it would, if both went into drawdown, I would immediately probably violate that. So we're just only in the Aussie trade. So let me update. Canceled EU and GU. There's this Discord update there. All right, let me get over real quick. Hold on. I need to pull up. I forgot to put on all the live chat and all messages. I've only been looking at top chat. I need to fix that real quick. I couldn't figure out how to get into the gold trade without marketing, and unless you're in algo, isn't every trade discretionary? Partly, John. Yes, we've had this discussion before. We've had that discussion. Every trade is discretionary, but they're filtered. You just use rules to filter your discretion, so that you're just choosing according to your system and plan. It helps you understand what discretion is probably more likely to play out than others. By the way, Brad, what's your views on GA now? I'm starting to think maybe it wants to go bullish again on daily, weekly. Yeah, we're in this range. We've been in this range for a while. We've run sell side liquidity. We've just tapped into the mid range buy side liquidity here. Pound is pretty weak right now overall. If you look at pound yen, very weak. We ran buy side, heavy displacement away. Aussie though is also very weak, which is why you're getting this chop, I think. So I don't know that how I feel about GA right now. I don't know. I mean, I see sell side, I see buy side. I don't have a very clear bias. If you just look at the daily time frame, what about this shows you any kind of bias here? What about any of that price action shows you that where the trend is? There is none. So I don't feel super clean about giving a bias on GA right now. GJ uptrend. And this is what I said. I felt really, I don't feel like I haven't been trying to sell GJ, but Yeah, I don't want to call a top. Yen has been super weak. Bank of Japan's been trying to intervene. That's why you get these massive wicks at certain times, but it's just been super strong. Let's see. Have Monday. We still haven't traded outside Monday's high or low. Tuesday was inside. Wednesday traded outside of Tuesday, but still inside Monday, and still here we are on Thursday, still trading inside GJ as well. So I don't. Who knows, man? I don't have GA. I would probably just wait until we start getting a trend and some displacement outside of these areas before I would start looking to trade a trend again. I thought we were going to take out these lows. I've always been looking at these relative equal lows out here and thinking we would reach into the sell side liquidity. We came right down to it. We left it in place. We've now tapped into some buy side. So maybe now we want to run that. I don't know. I don't know, man. Don't have a clear vibe. This daily fair value gap here has held price down. So yeah, I just don't. I don't know. That's my answer. I don't know. And it's okay to say I don't know. Okay to say that. Let's see. Oil just tanked yesterday. It was a good trade. I really, really liked how this trade was playing out. I was really hoping we'd get above those highs. We did get it was a break-even trade. Did ended up just pulling back into this hourly fair value gap and then completely falling away again. So just trickling up here. We closed below the daily fair value gap on oil. So you would anticipate that now continuing to have lower prices. It was a counter trend trade. I said that yesterday when we took it. I was expecting it just to kind of pull back up. Now we have a very clean fair value gap to work with. You also have this inverted fair value gap once it was closed below these inverted fair value gaps right here. And now yesterday's inverted fair value gap. Both of those violated and closed below. So your next draw on liquidity would be these little swing levels right here of where you would anticipate oil wanting to go. But I mean, that's a very steep drop on oil. Typically when you get a steep drop, it's going to want to reprice that. So just wait. Don't try and chase that. I would wait for a pullback and then sell it again. Excuse me with the yawns. $2.7 on a GU long. If you had a buy limit right under those lows, you could have caught a nice little pop on GU for the London session, and then you get the displacement away. So here's your stop run right here, and then your displacement away. And if you caught that stop run, it'd be a nice little move. It's the kid that won't let something go. I don't know, man. I don't know how else to describe discretionary trading versus mechanical trading. They all have discretionary parts to them, and in the end, they're all you're using your discretion to follow your system or not. So I guess one is just choosing to follow a clear set of rules when you enter a trade, and the other is just choosing to trade because your eyes and your gut and your intuition tell you to. So one is just a very much more structured discretion, I guess. Structured discretion is probably a better way to describe that. What's up, Shanghai? Welcome in. I'd really like to sell EU here, but I'm already in this AU trade. So we'll just let it play out. Had a small win on the ES based on the afternoon pullback. That afternoon session can provide you some nice little price action for sure. Where's your Top Step account right now, John? How's that doing? We need some account updates. That's what we need in the chat. We need some account updates. How are your challenges? How are your personal accounts? Anybody funded? Anybody gotten a payout? The London kill zone was chaos. Didn't pull the trigger. Yeah, I mean, you got to have a very clear bias. The EU and GU had SMT there. GU wanted to run those highs. EU did not. I think GU just falls away here without getting a pullback. Maybe you get a pop on news up and then it falls. But John, I'm doing surprisingly well. Well, I don't think there's anything surprising about it, John. You have a very clear understanding of what your strategy is. So you can't trade with fear. When you trade with fear, you're gonna self-sabotage. So you just go in and you execute every day, and you don't worry about the profit and loss. You don't worry about the percentage gain and loss. Just do your trading. Silver bullet on the M1. Oof. I don't even know what the silver bullet is, so I probably can't help you too much, or even I wouldn't be able to give you any insight into that. Sorry, I'm watching my dog behind me is dead asleep on the couch and having a dream, and her legs are she's chasing something. She's having a good old time in that dream, whatever she's doing. I even won a reset yesterday from playing Top Step TV's daily Kahoot trivia game. I don't need it, but I'm keeping it in my back pocket. See, that's nice to have. When you have that, it just frees you up psychologically to just not worry about it, because I'm just going to trade. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take the trades and the setups I see, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever happens, happens. Finest beverage. If there's so many other good beers. There's so many better beers in Colorado. In fact, it's some time-based strategy that in between certain times, there's always going to be a fair value gap that is protected and sends price lower in between this time and that time. I think that is a very kindergarten way of explaining my understanding of what the silver bullet is. Between this time and that time, you look for a fair value gap, you take it as an entry, and it's going to work. It's the silver bullet. Banquet? I don't know that I've ever heard of Banquet. Silver Bullet, John, you can guess, is an ICT concept. One that he kind of unveiled, quote unquote, earlier this year. Just one more PD array. Banquet beer? I gotta look it up. Banquet beer. Coors. Oh, it's a Coors product. It's just a lager. A sweeter flavor profile with brighty, fruity notes. Banana bread notes. And making this much more than your everyday lawnmower beer. I'd rather have a good craft brew, not any of those. I like the stouts. I like a good stout and I like a good IPA. I'm not a big fan of the light lagers. Not a fan of the light lagers. What's up, Bakong? Welcome in. Alpha says ICT has a silver bullet and his name is PWD or PW. Oh my goodness. He seriously is pushing the concept you should trade during this time. Revolutionary. I think he's always kind of been a time guy. Time and price is kind of been one of his big concepts. Only trade at certain times. And if you look at, there's a lot of people that make fun of his silver bullet strategy because they're like every hour is a silver bullet. I don't know. I haven't watched any new ICT stuff since I did watch his 2022 mentorship stuff, and I had already seen most of his other YouTube, like the Market Maker series, the Optimal Trade Entry, order block theory, all that kind of stuff. I've watched all of those, and then I watched his 2022 mentorship stuff. I haven't watched anything in 2023 that he's put out, not one thing. So I think the silver bullet stuff was this year. And, yeah, whatever. Don't know anything else about it. I don't drink anymore, but I did get into IPAs over lager. Dude, lagers, they're just so weak. They just, hold on, I gotta let my dog out. She woke up. Here you go, baby. Lagers are just so weak. I'm not a fan. Now I will say they're really good for certain things. Like when you are they can be very refreshing at times. If you've been working outside, whatever. Yeah, cool. But if I just want to go and enjoy a beer, I'm not going to get a lager. I'm going to get something with some body and some texture and some, just some depth to it. And there's so many good stouts. There's a couple good craft brew restaurants close to where we live that I like to go to that They've got just probably 50 or 60 different craft brews on tap, and good nitro brews, some peanut butter stouts, some chocolate stouts, some good Russian imperial stouts, some good bourbon barrel aged porters. They're fantastic, and then they've got some just incredible like double and triple hazy IPAs. So good, so good. They've got some good sours on tap. I like a good sour beer every now and then. Not, and I'd probably just get a small like little flight size, but I do enjoy a good sour every now and then as well. If I'm going to drink alcohol, which I do not drink much alcohol at all, but when I do, I actually probably prefer bourbon and whiskey mixed with something versus a beer. But if I'm gonna drink a beer, I prefer like a porter or stout or a good double hazy IPA. Uh, John is taking the piss as if ICT came up with the concept of time being important, or maybe I'm wrong, but that's my impression. To be honest, a lot of ICT's entries are the same thing, only different names and times. Pretty much Shanghai. That's exactly what it is. He just renames. He just gets in basically with the same thing every time. Find it strange the way you say lager. Is that how it's commonly said in USA? Lager. That's how we say it. Lager. I'm not sure what's the proper phonetic UK pronunciation of lager. It's spelled Lager here. That's how we Lager. So we say lager. Nick, the oil trade was a break-even trade yesterday. It was a counter trend trade. It got to 1.6 R. We went to break even, and shortly after that, it reversed and tapped us out. Yes, time is important for trading. Thank you, ICT, for such an insightful pearl of wisdom. Is that how you wanted me to read that, John? I hope it was. In Germany, they say lager as well. Okay. Yeah, that's lager. That is what I'm saying. Logger. That's exactly how we pronounce it here in the States. Logger, like a woodsman chopping down trees. You are correct. Man, I really want to sell EU from this spot. I'm already in this AU trade. I mean, I guess I could cancel and close out the AU trade and get into EU. It's my discretion. I can do whatever I want. I say lager the same, and it's spelt the same too. UK is more like larger or larger. Is it the G? Is it hard or soft? Larger or larger? A larger. So the R is more present. Nick says, I find an issue for me is breaking even on stuff that could have been a win at some point in the trade and getting stopped out of losers. So I end up being down even though I was up tips. That's why pretty much I'm always going to go to break even. I'm going to get my position to risk free. And if it comes back and stops me out and then runs to TP, fine. But my data shows me that I don't know when they don't always do that. A lot of times they just reverse like I did yesterday on oil. It broke me out at break even and then it just kept tanking. So it protected me. And you either are going to start taking full positions off when you would move to break even and just have a higher win rate and be comfortable with that and know that you're going to miss big moves. Or you're going to just move to break even and realize that probabilities say some of these trades are going to get stopped at break even. Some are going to hit your break even and then go in the direction that you wanted it to go and hit a full TP and you miss that. Some are going to hit your break even and run your original stop and it just protected you. And you don't know when that's going to happen. So you just have to follow a system mechanically. You just have to go, here's my trade management rule. When I'm in a trade, I'm going to do X, Y, Z every single time. That is the one part of this discretionary trading plan that I'm not going to break away from, is moving to break even around 1.5R. Now my TPs I'll be more discretionary about, but Oh, gosh, I want to sell EU. Alfie, really, maybe it's a Manchester thing. Oh, the UK guys arguing about how to pronounce lagers. Pretty good. I enjoy a pleasant pilsner, but I also pee sitting down. Well, there you go. That tells you everything need to know about why John likes those light beers. Soft G lager. It's more the sound of la rather than low to start the word. Yeah, I'd have to hear you say it. First time ever in the UK, I was 15 and drank the biggest beer ever. Tasted good and very nice. Landlord normally you need to be 16, I believe, or older to drink. Yeah, it's young in the UK. It's 21 here in the States. If you're a minor and you're with your parent, you can drink whatever you want if your parents are giving you permission to. But you can't just walk in anywhere until you're 21. And I think, what is it, 16 in the UK or 18? Hoping that GU will make the move before news. Cisco must admit I hadn't picked up on Brad's pronunciation of it. Mans can't speak properly anyway. Uh-oh, here we go. Probably pronounce it lager. Lager. Yeah, Logger is basically the way I'm pronouncing it. Lager. But it's spelled Lager, and we just say lager. 16 is with a meal, 18 otherwise. Really? If you're eating, you can drink, but if you're not, you got to wait 2 more years. That's funny. Oh, that's good. I like it. I like it. Okay, Alfie, sounds like maybe we say the same, like laga. Laga. A laga. I cannot do a good I can't do a good British accent. Otherwise I would try. Laga. Is that how you say it? Laga? Can you explain your pro dollar reasoning with yields peaked, or is it just because your trades are shorter time frames, so overall trends matter less? Mostly just in an uptrend. I mean, I'm just looking at a higher time frame. When you look at the weekly and the monthly, we're in an uptrend, and so this is a pullback. We've had 13 weeks of unprecedented run. We've never had this big of a bull run on the dollar before. We ran sell side liquidity, and we immediately displaced higher. We've tapped into buy side, so you're expecting a little retrace. We ran this, consolidated. We've manipulated below. Nice little pullback here, and now we're anticipating a higher low being put in, and running higher time frame liquidity here at 108. So that's my reasoning. You've had accumulation, you're getting manipulation right here of the sell side, and now you're going to get distribution. Now, it could be wrong. This could be a lower high, and we could start heading lower here. But right now, bullish dollar across the board is what I'm going with. I've been bullish until, I think for me, I would need to see a good run displacement below this swing level here now, the swing level we put in. If we get a run below that, and that could change and start a new trend back down, and you could target back into this range somewhere. But for me, that's my pro dollar stance. There's really nothing going on to say that the dollar should start weakening unless they start printing a crap ton more money. We'll see. My guess is they hold interest rates where they are at least through early 2024. Inflation is manipulated. It's still out of control here in the States. So the numbers that you're getting from government numbers, they're what they want you to. It's what they want you to see. I promise you, inflation is still rising, or it's at least not going down the way they want you to think it's going down. And income is not rising to meet the inflation demand. So there's just more things in the economy that point to the dollar, the interest rates remaining strong. They don't have inflation under control like they want you to believe they do. So all of that, you know, I think we make one more push up here on the dollar. And I don't know if we get to 108, but maybe we come back up inside, at least to inside this range. Like I said, I think we get up into the body of this candle at least. That's where I'm thinking we head on the dollar, bare minimum for the short term. Long term, I still think 108 is where the dollar gets to before it has a much larger retrace or a complete trend reversal. That's my reasoning. I don't know if that aligns with anybody else anywhere in the world, but that's my reasoning. EU, if you had that order, looks like it just got tapped in. I really wanted to sell EU. I'm in AU, it's fine, whatever. I really did want to sell EU today. And I still want to sell GU. If GU pulls back up into that breaker, I would probably want to sell that as well. But AU's good. AU, it all fits. And we've been very weak. We couldn't break into new highs. And so ready for an end of the week push down here on AU. If you're a pattern trader, you got your head and shoulders pattern here. So you've got shoulder, your head, your left shoulder. We've broken the neckline, come back and retested. And so now, what is it when you, whoops, I guess it's the other way. Your one standard deviation of your head and shoulders pattern. Isn't that the way you trade a head and shoulders pattern for the old retail trading models? Your target would be one standard deviation of your lower shoulder to your head, something like that, top of the head. I don't know. I don't trade that, but this is also a market maker sell model. If you're looking at this from an ICT perspective, the ICT market maker sell model on the 1 hour time frame, these lows down here are what you're aiming for. You've had consolidation, breakout, consolidation, smart money reversal, break of structure, retest. And so now you would be looking for at least price to come down into here, consolidate a little bit, and then take out those lows. So market maker sell model is what you're looking at here. There's all kinds of different ways. Everyone sees it differently. Everyone has a different way to describe the price action on the charts in front of them. Some people will throw on EMAs. Some people will just use fibs. Some people just use candle patterns. Some people use support and resistance, whatever. I mean, just do what you do and do it consistently. That's the name of the game. Let's see what else going on here. EU got tapped in. If you were in that trade, that's a really nice sniper entry right there. Right back into that inverted fair value gap, which is right there, right at the top of that candle. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back up on chat because I've been talking. John says, America certainly has its hangups with certain things, alcohol being one of them, but definitely never guns. Yeah, true. Although you can't buy a handgun until you're 21 either. You can get a long gun. You can get a shotgun or a rifle, I think, when you're 16 or 18. 18, I think. What do you expect on today's unemployment claims? I expect them to tell you that things are better than they actually are. That's what I always expect. They're going to make it better than they actually are. And if it's worse than they want it to be, it's because they're not done creating a crisis that they should be able to fix. No, Brad, you're still not getting it. Yeah, let's hear the voice note on Discord. Let's hear it. I'll play it. I want to listen to it. Laga? I don't know how, man. I'm just trying to read your phonetics that you're typing. What's up, LOL? Saw your Discord something about the screenshot of the war zone going on over there. Man, hope you're well. Hope things are okay there. In my opinion, it's harder to be pro-dollar than it was a few weeks ago, with yields having hit 5% and pulling back now. Rates won't likely go much higher, so the driving force behind dollar growth is lessening. Now, I don't disagree with you about the yields and stuff. I mean, all of that's just economic data and bonds and all of that. I'm just not ready to call a top on a runaway train, so I'm going to stay with the trend until I see information that tells me the trend has ended. I got rather drunk when I was 15 at a lock-in at my local. Spent the night talking to our village policeman too. He wasn't bothered. That's hilarious. Cisco, I worked on a bar at a hotel back in the day. Once accidentally served an underage guy at a function where it was mostly under 18s and a few adults. Cisco, but because I did it once and he didn't spread the word, I just let him have it next few times too. John says, smash that like button. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you would. That'd be great. It does help the stream out and get the word out to others that what we're doing is important and matters and helpful. I don't know if it's important, and I don't even know if it's helpful. But there's a few of you that show up every day who seem to like it, so. Also concerned about BRICS, World War III, gold, and silver flagging. Yeah. There's all kinds of fundamentals out there that are very concerning for all kinds of socioeconomic events happening around the world. So it's got to be nimble, man. It's a tough time to be a trader. Things just whipsaw around quite aggressively. Cisco continuing his story. Then I think he tried to impress his girl with it because she tried and I said no. He asked for the same thing, took her glass off her right at the bar, and so I gave it. Hopefully he got laid that night. We all gotta do our parts, right? Muhammad, good evening, everyone. What's up, Saeem? Welcome in. John says most patterns are slightly more than 50%, 55 to 60 to be more exact, except for flags. Flag patterns, bull bear tend to have 65 to 70% accurate. John, do you trade those candle patterns? Are you a candle pattern trader? Like, do you implement that into your what you do, how you do it? Looking for sells on GU, but still feel like EU might go up. I would love to sell EU and GU. I'm already in the AU trade. Part of me kind of wants to just close my AU trade and just wait for this a little more pump on EU GU, but I don't know. We're in it. Might as well hold it. EU is the best to sell, says Host Crane. I would not disagree with you. Cisco, yeah, the numbers are a bit daft if you look at revisions of NFP. Oh, they're always screwed up, man. I promise you. They're giving you the reports that they want you to see so that they can either look good or have a problem to fix at some point in the future. They're not true. It's not true data. It's not pure, authentic data. Any numbers that a government agency releases, there's someone that made a decision at some point higher up the food chain that told them what they should put out. Sorry, I've not an idea how to try to spell it to make it clearer. That's okay. Just drop a voice note in Discord. What's up, Keystone? Welcome in. Are you holding during the news? I am gonna hold. I'm gonna trade through the news numbers. John says, no, not really. I just look at them like I do clouds. Hey, would you look at that? Yeah, similarly. I don't trade it, but I see it. I don't trade it, but I see it. I try to catch the coughs and mute the mic when I can, but I don't always get it. So, I mean, we're right at break even right now on this Aussie dollar trade. Ugh. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? Do I hold Aussie dollar here? Or do I close it and get into the EU or GU position that I've really been more inclined to be a part of? I'd buy Aussie CAD over selling Aussie dollar, in my opinion. I don't look at the cross pairs. I don't look at the Aussie CAD. At least I haven't. But more power to you, my friend. Absolutely. I think I want to close this. I think I want to close Aussie dollar so I can sell EU. Yeah, I'm doing it. All right, I closed it. I'm going to wait for EU to get up there again. I'm going to reset that sell limit on EU. Or GU. I'm not sure. Either one. Let me look at GU. Coming into the 8 o'clock hour here. I mean, sorry, 9. Yeah, I guess 8 o'clock. I really kind of want to sell that GU breaker. Ugh, that's so pretty. John says, if you're asking my opinion, I couldn't say. I'm more of a commodities and indices trader. I couldn't even tell you real-time hours for these things. Looks like a sweep of the lows now going up. Could be. Mohammed, my only hope is the 1 hour fair value gap on EU gets respected. Yep. Indices put in a historic 7 green days in a row, first time since November 2001. Really? They've never had 7 green days in a row. That's shocking to me. I figured they'd have runs like that before. Interesting. Let me go over to EU here. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Actually, we're just gonna let's just make it 200. It's fine. 2%. All right, so my new sell limit on EU is 06941. Right there. My stop is 07055 right there. And my TP is 06170. So that's what I'm hoping for right there. Top of that hour, clip it in, inverted fair value gap. You also have this order block right here. Stop above the order block and above the inverted fair value gap. Looking to see both of those hold price down, get one more stab up at the top of the hour, and then let's fall away here. GU, I still like this breaker. It's a really nice setup, but I don't know. EU feels weaker to me, or EU looks. These lows down here look super juicy to me. Let's see what happens. While we're waiting, I'm going to take just a short little bathroom break, and then we'll be back on it for about another hour or so today, probably. So, got to go see a man about a dog or a horse. I don't know. Ask John which one's more appropriate. We're back. Top of the hour here, looking for just a little push up here on euro dollar. Wonder how deep gold wants to tap into that fair value gap right there. Maybe into that order block. Simon says, come on, GU, pump up. I really want to get in the breaker. It's a classic sell day on GU. It is. And, yeah. Would be nice to see just a good little pump. A little quick. If you get a sharp moving candle on GU, I would sell it. Host Crane, it just depends. I don't know, man. If I was just trading the breaker block system, I would risk 2%. But with this specific challenge, I've changed my risk based on the pair I'm trading, how I feel about the setup. Anywhere from 0.5% to 2%. But this breaker block setup, I would risk 2%. But that's again based on the actual live trading data that I have for this specific system. That's why I would risk 2%. I don't recommend anyone risking 2% if you don't have the numbers and the data. The data that you have on your trading plan over at least 100 trades where you executed your plan as perfectly as you could, that's the data that you need to use to help you determine what your risk profile should be. Because that's what's likely to play out. Not perfectly play out, but likely in some form or fashion. It should be replicatable over the next 100 trades very similarly. It won't be exact, but it'll be close. And you can use that data to help you to build out your risk profile, your trade management plan, all those kinds of things. So my actual preference on risk management is that you shouldn't change your risk. That's the advice I would give to most people is don't change your risk, that you should use the same risk on every trade so that your risk reward ratio doesn't lose its edge. Because and the theory behind that is if you risk 1% on one trade and let's say you lose it, and the very next trade you for whatever reason you feel like you don't like the setup as much or whatever, so you risk 1/3%, and you win that trade. Well, you've just won a trade, but you still haven't won more than you've lost. And so the whole theory behind successful, profitable traders is that when they win, they are winning more than when they lose. And to do that, you need to have a stable set risk percentage. Now, it's not that you couldn't win more if you risked just 1/3%. If you're holding for super, big trades, big winners, high RR. But in general, let's just say you have a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio or even a 1-to-3. If you risk 1% on one trade and then you only risk 1/3% on the next, you might get back to break even, but you wouldn't be profitable, but you just hit a 1-to-3. So when you change your risk every single time, you're doling your edge. That risk reward ratio is the offensive weapon that traders have to pull profits out of the market, so that when they lose, they're only losing a small amount, but when they win, they're winning 2 to 3 times more than when they lose. And so, but if you're changing that risk percentage every single time, you're just handicapping your offensive weapon that you have as a trader. Still not triggered in. It did come right up to our entry on Think Markets, but we did not get triggered in here on EU. Let's see, the high of that candle is 06939, and our entry is 06941, so 2 pipettes away from an entry. 2 pipettes away on an entry there. I'm happy with your answer. Thank you. Was that a test? Was that an interview? I'm not sure how to take that comment. Do you own a hedge fund, and was that an interview question for me? I'm not exactly sure. It could just be that you're in a country there's a language barrier, and you're trying to be polite. In which case, I'm not making fun of you. It's just it came across. It just tickled me a little bit the way you answered that. We've had some language barrier issues before on the stream. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was a language barrier issue, but I don't know. I'm just guessing. That's just an interesting way to answer that question or answer that comment. It's a funny answer. You just never know what's going to come up in the chat. You just never know. That's probably the most entertaining portion of everything that we do here. Oh my God, we're getting swerved again. Don't you do this. Don't you do this to me, EU. Don't you do it. The stream without Bastion is just not the same anymore. Something's missing. Yeah, I mean, it was quite the interesting few days when Bastion was around. What's up, Dunamis? Welcome in, my friend. Siam says, fingers crossed, I'm going to take a sell from the touch of the breaker on GU. Yeah, I mean, you've got you got a little bit of a pump there still needed, my friend. Got a little bit of a pump there. And it's falling away now here at the first 15 minutes. My EU trade did not freaking get triggered in by 2 pipettes. Ugh. You gotta be kidding me. I hate that. It's not that it can't come back up, but it's just like, why? Joss is me feeling that I'm nailing the interviewer. I'm happy with your answer. Thank you. There's the door. Me. I hadn't finished telling you about myself. Yeah. It's just a very, it's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's the opposite of casual, whatever that is. I can't think of the word. Formal. It's a very formal way to leave a comment. It's not as casual. Like we have very casual conversation going on in the chat, and then we get. It's just and host Crane, please. I'm not. We're just using your comment as a way to entertain ourselves. I'm not making fun of you in any way, shape, or form. So please take no offense. We crack on each other pretty hard in the chat all the time. So it was just a very formal statement that caught me off guard. If you're from, I don't know, somewhere in Asia or Africa or India, and it's just a culture. It's probably just you're just probably being nice, like, oh, that's cool. Thanks for saying that. That's the way we would have said it in the States. Is like, cool answer, or oh yeah, good answer. But the way you said it is just a very formal way to talk to someone, and we just don't typically do that much here. Maybe I should have said LOL. LOL would have been great. Or even just a thumbs up. Or a cool. It's all good, man. It's just culture. It's just culture. It really is. It's just the internet and YouTube chat, like all of these world cultures come together in this chat room, and we all have to figure out how to respond to each other. And sometimes it's just humorous, and we try to have more fun than anything on here. We don't take ourselves seriously at all. There's almost a backhanded, there is kind of that backhanded compliment to it for sure. Yeah, I would agree. Not Ohio. Muhammad says, I missed a 3R trade on the Asian session by half a pip. Oh, God, those are so frustrating. And I freaking love it. It is so cool, man. It's so cool. The amount of interaction we have with different people from literally all over the world. Like freaking LOL is on here. And he's literally living in a Civil war zone right now. I mean, what in the world, dude? And then we've got John and Jim the Wonder Dog land and his Kansas City barbecue. We just it's just crazy to me that we have so many people from all over. This freaking EU trade just drops without me. I'm going to be so ill. Especially if I get out of AU and it drops only to miss the EU trade. Oh, God, I'm going to be freaking burnt by that. If you're happy with something, it means you appreciate it. No, I totally agree with you. Host Crane, I totally agree with you. It absolutely does. You are not wrong. Ethiopia. Okay, well, see, there you go. So it's a cultural language thing completely. No big deal. Yeah, so like in the States, that answer would have just been, oh, thanks for answering that, or hey, I appreciate that answer. Or I agree with you, cool answer, or something like that. but you just said literally what you meant. And often that translates when you're just interacting with other cultures. The literal words that you're saying often are very formal feeling to other cultures, where we would use slang, and we would use local what's the word, colloquialisms. I can't even say it right. It's just it's the language of the area that you live in. Everybody's going to have their own unique way and come up with their own unique meanings to say the literal thing that you mean. So when you actually literally say what you mean, it just feels very formal, and it's kind of funny, and not in a that we think you're dumb way, but it's funny. Just it's funny for me to read it. What's up, Beniam Tesfieldet? Probably butchered your name. Welcome in, my friend. GU looks weaker than EU. It does. Yeah, GU doesn't. It does look weaker. I don't know that we're gonna get our entry. Can you look at gold? We always look at gold. We like looking at the gilded gal. We're still anticipating a run of gold into this. It's just tapped into this fair value gap here on gold. You've had this run of liquidity. You've gotten displacement away. You've had an aggressive 3 days drop here. Monday open put in, and we've just dropped all week. So I would anticipate gold wanting to come down into this fair value gap a little bit more than just touching it. Although it doesn't have to. It can just touch it and reverse here. Yesterday was the move I called out, that we were going to run this low and run into this fair value gap. And it's played out there now. So, if you're bearish, you would just be looking for setups that fit your criteria on selling gold. But I think it's going to come down into here somewhere, maybe halfway through this. There's a little order block about halfway through this on the, what is it, the 4 hour or the 1 hour? Yeah, the 4 hour. This little down close candle here, I think it may want to come down into that, and before it gives a deeper, if it wants to go higher, like real higher, I think it may want to run into that. But it's definitely on we've had a shift of structure here. Market maker sell model, consolidation, smart money reversal, consolidation, consolidating around the same areas again. So your next area of downside would be definitely inside there. So I'm not going to try to call that top or bottom, though, how that plays out. So many African dudes here. Feels like Africa is more populated than China, actually. There's a lot. We have a pretty good African contingent on the stream. I love it. I have 25,000 funding challenge to 1 million. Cool. What prop firm are you using to do that with? Unemployment claims in 8 minutes. Yeah, we will have some unemployment numbers coming out. We may get a pop-up. This might be where you get your entry news, a news-related pump, potentially. We'll see. The Forex Fund. I don't know that I've ever heard of that one. The Forex Fund. I'm unfamiliar with that firm. Would like to take this opportunity to let everyone know that if you're having some trouble with your trading, One of the reasons might be that you're not using your teak wood and oak Leo Ben candle while you're trading, because when you do nothing but win. Every trade you take, Leo Ben Candle Company and the teak wood and oak candle. Still waiting on that sponsorship email, by the way. Hey, we got triggered in. We're in on EU. How about you? All right, now we just need to get the news release to drop this. Send it to hell. Let's go. Seven minutes, we'll see a big candle. Yeah, hopefully it's down. I don't know about funding, but I've lost a total of 100K phase one challenges. Is that 10? So you've lost 10K challenges? Is that what you're trying to say? I don't know about funding, but I've lost a total of 100K phase one challenges. So that's 10 or some cumulative number of 100K challenges. I mean, it could be 250s. It could be some 25s, a 10. John Jones, I just laughed after what I said. Wanting this order block and this inverted fair value gap to hold price down from here. That is my goal. Aussie dollar ripping higher. Pound not quite there. Not given the same strength. Inside these little 30-minute fair value gaps as well, on the downside now, you would want to see PD arrays to the bearish side, to the downside respected. So order blocks and fair value gaps, you would want to see respected here. So filling in that 30-minute fair value gap right there, reaching up into this order block and retesting this inverted fair value gap now. So our stop is above the inverted fair value gap and above the order block. We'll see. We'll get a little bit of a news release here in 4 minutes, and we'll see what happens. Maybe GU pops you up into that breaker. You may get your breaker entry there on that news. Started Starfield yesterday. Oh, cool, man. Welcome to the Starfield universe. Free in-game pass, so I thought, why not? Man, that game is huge. You can burn so many hours just doing almost nothing in the game. Yeah, it is a big... It's very big, and there is a lot to do in that game. There's so much. Yeah, you don't even... You could spend 40, 50, 60 hours of gameplay without ever doing the main quest at all. Easily. Easily. It's pretty cool. I love those huge open world maps. I think they're just the whole universe is to explore and just basically do whatever you want, however you want. That's always fascinating to me. All right, I got about a minute and a half here until this 30-minute candle. We will get a little unemployment news dropping. Discretionary trading at its finest right here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 1,000 planets and moons to explore. It's not true. So it's not like you can just fly down to any one. Like you actually, the way they have it is, I can't remember what they call it, but it basically generates a random map depending on where you land on the planet, that's only like 5 kilometers square that you can go in any one direction. And then you would have to like take off and re-land on a different section of the planet. It's not like you can just run from one end of the planet nonstop to the other. So tapped up into that order block there. Gee, you might get your breaker entry. Here we are with our 8:30. For so long, I'm at last getting an entry. Let's see, what is that? That's a 11 pip stop. So if I'd set an alert right around here, I think. This would be I think that's about where my break-even line would be. Yesterday's low will be first target there if we get any kind of push down. What are the news headlines right now? Dollar rises early Thursday ahead of jobless claims. Powell is speaking at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Dollar getting a little bit of a pump off that news, but not anything super aggressive. But on the hourly candle here, putting in a nice little rejection wick off of this fair value gap. Right here. Yeah, I wasn't anticipating the Thursday unemployment numbers to give us any kind of big pop. Um, it doesn't even show up on TradingView as a serious news event. The New York PM session time, UTC -5. So whatever the 1 o'clock hour is, the 1 p.m. New York is UTC -5. So whatever that is for you, I don't know. But 1 p.m. New York session. How to read news? Uh, I don't know what exactly your question is there, or how to anticipate based on how to trade news after it comes out. I just read price action, whatever the news event is. I just try to wait for to see if it's going to pop and clear out liquidity on one side or another, and then I just try to trade the opposite way. I mean, did it change after daylight shift? Only in that it's an hour later than it normally is from what you were trading. If you don't observe daylight trading, it'll be an hour later than what it used to be for you. If your country does not observe daylight savings time, then that's yes, you would need to. It would be an hour later. What's up, Maverick? Welcome back in, man. Good to see you again. It's been some time. Got to join your stream today live. Good to be here, man. Thanks for being in on the stream. Appreciate you. GU coming back up now into this breaker. So we'll see how deep it was. Almost touching this breaker block right here. About to get an entry off of that. That fair value gap is probably where I would aim for an entry on GU, potentially to see it roll over. Oil top touching into this order block and fair value gap right there might be an interesting spot to sell oil from off of that fair value gap and target those initial swing levels there. Probably at least that first one for sure. You might be able to get a 1 to 2 depending on how aggressive you placed your stop. This fair value gap inside this inverted daily. This is the daily fair value gap that it closed below yesterday. It's coming back up into it now. You would anticipate it acting as some resistance there. EU pumping hard now through this inverted fair value gap. GU coming back up into the breaker there. Still working on improving my discipline and keeping to my trading plan. Feel like making good progress. It's good to hear, Maverick. It takes time. There's no like, the magical secret is consistency and doing the same thing every single day. Every time you sit down the charts, just doing it over and over and over and over and over, and trying to stay committed to it as possible. Risky trading oil right before the open. You don't trade before news. Why trade before the open? I don't know what the oil hours are, my friend. I'm just going off of the technical chart. I don't even know what time they actually, is it 9 a.m. New York time? Is that when the commodities market opens? I don't know. If that's the case, then yeah, you should probably wait until that open hits. I was listening again to Trading in the Zone over the weekend. One thing I feel really helping me is to accept the possibility that all trades are unpredictable, but doing back testing gives us the edge. Syme says, missed the EU buy, but GU might give an entry. Syme trying to fade Venator. Just the energies. I see. GU reaching into that breaker just now. We'll see if it wants to get up into that fair value gap at all. EU pushing hard into its order block, 30-minute order block here. And the hourly order block lies just ahead, wick to body right there. If it wants to hold prices down for the rest of the day, it's going to respect this order block, this hourly order block right here, if it wants to have lower prices for the day. So I know I've got all these orange boxes on here. I'll take this inverted fair value gap. I'm just going to remove. It could still respect that, but this 1 hour order block right here, this hourly up close candle from 1 a.m. is where you would anticipate if EU wants to trade lower today, it's going to be from that position right there. And my stop is not above that order block, sadly, but it is above the 30-minute order block on this time frame right here. And it's above the inverted fair value gap. So we'll see what price wants to do here. If it wants to trade lower off of that order block now, it would want to reverse from this position. GU reaching up into its breaker, it would probably reverse from that breaker. I don't know if it gets up into that fair value gap, but that breaker setup here, just touching the wick into the body of that breaker, and starting to pull back now a little bit there. But we'll see. We should find out here in the next 20 minutes or so what kind of strength Eurodollar wants to have. Let's see, we got the unemployment claims came in basically right as expected at 2.7. They were expecting 2.18. It came in at 2.17. Could just range around today as well. Well, looks like we got stopped out. Wonder why that. Huh. I thought my stop was higher than that. I think markets have stopped me out, but that's interesting. I didn't think it was that low. I thought it was over here. I guess it wasn't. It shows stopped out on. Where was my exit there? Oh, 7055. Interesting. Euro dollar. Why did it get stopped out right there? Very interesting. That's very odd to me. Well, for whatever reason, it did. So we took the L there. Discretionary trading, ladies and gentlemen, on full display. GU breaker still in play here. Will not be taking that trade though. Took the GU loss earlier. Took the EU loss now. AUD would have been a loss as well. So this is the glorious nature of discretionary trading. Like full discretionary trading, following, not having a set plan, not having a set rule. This is what happens. The complete guessing game of what the market's going to do and just trading off of what you think you see. GU reaching up right into the 50% of that breaker. Be interesting to see how that GU trade plays out. Marked up in front of everybody here. Oh, that was the wrong button. Dang it. Saeem says I was bullish on EU since the start of the week. Well, that's good, Saeem, man. I hope you caught that trade. Don't ask about the ags. Some are super weird. Some open then close and reopen. Owen, what's going on? Butter is literally only 1 hour. Butter has a 1 hour trading window. That's interesting. Anyone want to trade butter? No? Okay, see you tomorrow. GU almost at entry. Oh, and I didn't even know you can trade butter, John. I didn't even know that was a thing. You could trade butter. I didn't take my EU long. Would have hit TP for 2R. I think those equal highs on the EU need sweeping for it to go lower. Could be. Yep. The EU, GU ran those last night. EU did not. Up 1% on my GU bot. Good job, Corey. Well done. Well done, my friend. After trading discretionary trading for 2 weeks, I remember why. I stopped doing it. It does not work for me, man. It does not work for me. I think I'll finish out that account and then go back to modeling what it looks like to be a patient, rule following, disciplined trader. So I did it. Did discretionary trading. I think I'm done with it. It's the way most traders in the 90% club trade every single day. And this is the result they get every single day. Really nice breaker setup here on GU, though. Gotta admit. The question now is the 1 hour fair value gap or the 15-minute fair value gap? I mean, basically my entry is at the bottom of both of those. Oh. All right, well, not much left to do. I'll be done for the day. Hit the stop losses. 2 trades, 2 stop losses. So, is what it is. Heading into tomorrow, we'll see what we get. But I'm kind of done with this experiment, quite honestly. Kind of done with it. All right, we'll call it here, guys. A couple hours in. Took the loss. This is what trading is. You take wins, you take losses. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday morning, New York, 7 a.m. New York time. So hope to see you guys there. We'll be doing our 10K account giveaway, so we can expect to see some of our regulars. Maybe the Ferguson twins will make another appearance. Maybe if I posted on Twitter that we're doing a 10K giveaway again, we could get some characters in here. We could get some real characters in here. The guys that just show up, maybe we could do a chat contest and really get them going. That'd be fun. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll post the giveaway in the Discord for sure for all of you Discord members. So 10K count giveaway tomorrow, Friday, 7 a.m. We'll see you guys. Have a great rest of your day wherever you're at. Happy hunting. And we'll see you manana. Adios, y'all.